Wine, it's Terrence Gangsta William, aka OG Diggity. I'm hanging out with the big homie, Hankin TV. Make sure y'all subscribe, support the brother. We out here doing big things. It's all good, baby. Y'all see me free. We out here enjoying life. Wine. I want y'all to stop the violence, say no drugs, and put these guns down. I'm out, baby. Gotta go.
This is a certified hood classic.
I used to be in my feelings, then I turned up and got a spot. I can't say how much I made in that bitch, I just know it was a lot. I don't care no more if she love me for real, long as she love my knot. They say, Unc, you hitting them with too much drip. I know I got a mop. I put my flow in the microwave, I know I got to blow, now it's hot. I was way too far ahead of my time, I had to slow down and stop. Before I pull up to the honeycomb, I got to go round the block. Looking in blind spots for any nigga think he on the low trying to plot. Go ahead.
Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Hankin TV, man. You feel what I'm saying? That's my boy. He put dope content over there.
The maid, or if you the motherfucking bodyguard. Everybody get extras around here, French benefits. Everybody travel from place to place and kick it with each other, and every place is like home.
Watch out, got that sauce.
Let's get it.
Welcome to my city, Westwood, they know Ohio. Midwest players and hustlers, check the bio. They call me Hankin for a reason. If I said it, then I done it. I supply what they demand and make a profit from it. I'm in love with the game. Run, Hopper, Norris, Cole. Ohio player self-made. Jam City, we on gold. M-double-G, yeah, money go killer. Real niggas bout that life. Niggas can't up with
They
us.
call me Hankin for a reason. If I said it, then I done it. I supply what they demand and make a profit from it. They call me Hankin for a reason. If I said it, then I done it. I supply what they demand and make a profit from it.
I salute to all the hustle, Jay, Charlie, Bugs, and Round, Keith, Denny, Burt, Earl, the D-boys in the alleys, Chino and Lil J, J, Mac and Carleone, Skang, Key, and Diamond Cut, DBM, you know we own. I used to cook the D, I did corn, shoot the 3, when he played for the Heats, then I flooded the streets. Hustle gang, that's my squad, that's my motherfucking team, just might be your worst nightmare, or sell you a dream. We all about the money, up the system, they corrupt, ain't no credit, straight cash, so I got my hustle up.
They call me Hankin for a reason. If I said it, then I done it. I supply what they demand and make a profit from it. They call me Hankin for a reason. If I said it, then I done it. I supply what they demand and make a profit from it.
Matter of fact, after you leave here, you end up getting your teeth on something and coming up with something better. You know what I'm saying? Like a new car, new house, maybe kids get to go to school, private school, paid for, courtesy of the mob. You know what I'm saying? We pay. You know, that's simple. A lot of niggas don't like to spend their money. We love to spend our money. We can't take none of this shit with us. None. Ain't no armored trucks pulling up at no funeral. Simple.
When you go to jail, ain't none of these niggas gonna take care of your kids when you go to jail. Ain't none of these niggas gonna send you no money when you go to jail. Not when you got life after the first 2 years. I'm just gonna give it to you real. Ain't none of these motherfuckers ain't gonna stop past your mom's house, make sure she okay. Nothing, nigga. You gonna sit up jail, you gonna rot till you motherfucking die, nigga. That's what it is. Be with your family, motherfuckers that's working with you, standing with you every day, grinding with you. That's who count. Know what I mean? Your mother gonna be there, your sister, your family, your cousins, your niggas you with every day gonna be there. All that shit, man, don't mean nothing. You ride for what? Niggas is dying over nothing. I don't know what they died for. If I died, I know I died trying to take a sacrifice for my whole family and change my whole shit around. My little cousins think they could be rich. They 10. They think when they grow up and be 19, they gonna be rich.
What's up with this? Your boy Hankin TV. I want to thank y'all for tuning in today to Tales from the Cell. I started this series. Probably about a month or so ago, where I was gonna be telling prison stories. You know what I'm saying? I did 15 years in the joint, so I was gonna come give my experiences, some of the things I had been through while I was in there, and try to wake people up. You know what I'm saying? Give our youth and some of our adults, you know what I'm saying, a closer look what's inside. But also, what I was gonna also do. I was going to start interviewing people who also have spent time in prison, male and females, for them to get their perspective. And right now, it I started this show. This the second one, and I got another female. So that let us know, man. People are going to jail, men and women, and man, that ain't the place to be. So I got a guest for y'all today. It's Toya. She got a deep story about being incarcerated. She also has a YouTube channel called It's Toya Baby, where she started telling her prison stories. I invited her onto the platform. You know what I'm saying, to come and share her story with us. Um, Kind of get her out there, get everybody hip to her, and get people to coming through. So
Hey, Hankin.
um, I don't know what happened. My laptop had froze up. Let me see if she's still in here. Okay, there she goes. You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Man, I don't know what happened. Man, that was a nice intro. All right, cause like I
Yeah, it
was
was.
my laptop froze up for some reason. I ain't never had that happen. But like I was saying, we got Is Toya. Like I said, she got a YouTube channel called Is Toya Baby, where she started telling her prison stories. Like I said, I was gonna bring her on today to share hers. So if can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Toya. Well, my name is Toya really, but I go by It's Toya Baby on YouTube and Instagram. And yeah, I started coming around on YouTube due to like the Mo3 investigation. And so I just kind of stuck around and I got hooked on to the Skull platform and I became a mod over there. So that's kind of my YouTube history a little bit.
All right. So what made you want to go ahead and start telling your story? First of all, letting people know you have been incarcerated.
Um, Actually, I had started just kind of throwing it around, on different platforms because I always hear panels and talk, and it's always different subjects going on. So I kind of always tell. I'm not a private person like that, so I kind of always tell little bits and pieces about me being incarcerated. And then people started hitting me up saying like you should do a story time, like you should start talking about what happened to you in prison. And then Skull was like the icing on the cake. Like, you need to go ahead and just start talking about your prison stories. People like to hear that. So I was like, I'm
Okay.
going to try it. And it kind of worked out for me a little bit.
Okay. So what was you incarcerated for?
Tampering with evidence with the intent to fabricate.
And how much time did you do?
Well, I was sentenced to 4 years probation, and then the way it's set up, if you finish the probation, it would come off of my record. But of course, I got violated 3.5 years into my probation, so they ended up re-sentencing me, and uh I got sentenced to 3 years.
So you first got locked up before you got the probation. Of course, you had to go through the county jail. Was that your first time going to jail when you went to the county?
Actually, no. I had been to juvenile before, and then I had been to jail like for like some tickets or whatever. So no, it wasn't my first time going to the county.
All right. So with this new case and being sentenced to 3 years, knowing you about to go to prison, how was it that first day when you went through them doors?
Man, it's like almost like an out of body experience for real because you don't really know what to expect. You don't know, you see stuff on TV, you hear things on TV, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like you just preparing for whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's how I felt. Like I'm just prepared for whatever. I don't know if somebody gonna try to sneak me. I don't know, you know what I mean? So you just prepare for whatever.
So how? I mean, like, I know you got to be prepared forever, but how was you feeling? Was you feeling like, man, it's over? So people who haven't been to prison 3 years. Like I say, one day is too many. But for a person who had never been to prison 3 years, you feeling like that's life. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? my whole thought process going through the county, going through the court and all that stuff, it was just I have to get through this step to get to the next step to get home to my kids. You get what I'm saying? So I always kept that in my head. Like, I got to get through this to get to the next thing. You know what I mean? So I was just more anticipating the outcome. So, like, if that makes sense.
Right. So for people who don't know, if when you go to prison, when you go into prison, when you go to the county, you got a little waiting period in the county, then they ship you off to prison. So what was going through your mind when they finally said, I'm just gonna say Johnson, Toya Johnson, pack it up, you riding out. You knew you was going to prison. What was going through your mind then?
It was just like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Because, they have you sitting there for a few weeks. Like, you already have your time, your sentence, you know what I mean? So they have you sitting there for a few weeks, and it's kind of like, come on, let's go, because, county food is high. They always tell you, like, the state food is better than what they serve you at the county. So it's kind of like you kind of anticipating, like, okay, let's get this show on the road. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to keep sitting here when my time needs to go ahead and start. I can't make parole until I get out of here. So
Right.
I was more so like, let's go. Let's get this over with.
So by you saying you had been to juvenile before, what I'm saying, when you was younger, did you ever think that did you clean your act up or ever think you would be in prison one day?
No, I never thought I'd be in prison. Never. That's why I said it was kind of like an out of body experience. I never thought I've always been like a fighter. So that was my juvenile. It was like I had got an attempted assault on my juvenile record. So yeah, I had cleaned my act up a little bit. If somebody jumped out the line, but nobody was calling the police for fighting. So I never thought I would be in prison, period.
Right. So okay, so you got packed up from the county, you going to prison. How was it when you finally stepped through the doors in a women's adult prison?
It was like, you look at that barbed wire at the top, you know what I mean? Um, you see the COs, and you hear all these girls like talking loud, it's a loud experience. So I kind of like, I like to say I kind of just zoned out and took it for what it was. I was scared deep down inside, but at the same time, it was just like I told you, my mind frame was, I gotta get through this to get back home to my kids. I got it, whatever it is. So the feeling is just like, it can be overwhelming if you don't process what you're about to go through. You know what I mean?
It most definitely can. So when you was in county, what was some of the horror stories you heard about going to prison?
Ah, man. Okay, like they told us it was a girl, like it was a legend of a girl that used to like like she would act like she wanted to talk to you, you know what I mean? Like, be your girlfriend or whatever. But then if you pissed her off while y'all was together, she would put razors in between her fingers and, like, finger you and cut your shit up.
What?
You know what I mean? Or of course the lock sock. People putting locks in the sock and beating your ass with it, like. So yeah, that was some of the horror stories. But at the same time, it was girls in there like, man, if you just mind your business, it ain't like what everybody say. You can either get caught up in the bullshit or just mind your business and do your time. You know?
Right. I did all my time. I did all my time in Ohio, in Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, and and we had a legend going around. It was a legend of a person that was locked up. They was doing a long time, and they called him Boxing Betty. It was a
Mm-hmm.
punk. It was a punk, but he had hands. And the legend was, you know, you would get in there, he'd beat you up, and he'd do some things to you. So that was one of the legends we had up here. But it was, you know, once you get in there, all them legends turn out to be
False.
bull crap. So
Yeah, it be false. You know what I mean? But it be shit going on. I ain't gonna care. But at the same time, you just gotta do your time. And and however you do your time is what's gonna happen to you. If you get in there and be on that rah rah, I'm tough, I'm all this, I'm that, people gonna test your G all the time. But if you go in there like, hey, I'm just trying to do my time and get out, you know, ain't nobody hating on you for real, you know.
right, that was gonna be my next question. Far as talking to you so far, I can tell that you're a fighter. So in the words of Cam, did you have to punch on something in there?
Oh yeah, most definitely I did. Um, I told on one of my story times that it was this girl. She really like had called herself starting to like me, you know, like putting food on my bunk and shit when I would come in, you know. And I'm telling one of my other homegirls, like, man, I think honey like me, bro. Like I think. And so she was like, well, fuck it. You don't gotta go in your box. Your box is where you keep your food at, up under your bed. You know what I mean? So she was like, fuck it, you ain't gotta go in your box. And I was like, man, fuck that bitch. I don't need her food. And as I was saying that, the girl is walking past like the day room. It's a whole day room. It ain't like cells like what you see behind you. It's like a whole bunk situation. And the day room is in the middle. So she walking past. And so she was like, what you say? And in that moment, Hankin, it's like, do I say what I said and risk the fight? Or you know what I mean? Or do I just be a punk on my bunk and make parole? You know what I mean? So I was like, man, bitch, I said, I don't need your food. Basically, like, you know, she went to open her water bottle and dash me with water. And I was like, come back to my bunk area because my bunk area was the blind spot. And we got the scratching real tough in that bitch. I ended up winning, but that bitch hit me in my nose, something serious. My shit was split.
So for the people out there that don't know, in most prisons, most likely you either gonna have like the cells that's behind me, or now they starting to get more modern, so it'll be rooms, 1 man, 2 man rooms, and it's a door on it, like a college campus versus a cell, or you got an open dorm where it's like a whole bunch of bunks, and then you got what they call the day room area where they got tables where you can play games. Some prisons where you're fortunate enough, they got microwaves, you know what I'm saying, ice machines and stuff
Oh, we
like
ain't had none of that.
right. So one of the things I want to ask you for of being a woman, and I like I said, this is my second show doing this, and it's been women. So being a woman in a prison, did you have any male guards that hit on you?
You know, like it be a it's a thin line with flirting with the officers. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you kind of flirt with them or whatever, but I didn't never really get too caught up with the COs because, like I said, my goal was to go home and make my time as smooth as possible. I had uh you know, people looking out for me in the world, so I really didn't have to do a lot of extra extravagant stuff to get what I needed done, you know. But it was girls that was messing with the officers, you know what I mean? It's a girl that got pregnant by an officer in there. So yeah, it happens, but that wasn't my thing to do.
Right. And then it ain't like I'm about to snitch because everybody all know it's in the news and everything. But when you in prison and then during a short time, but especially when you're doing a long time, people tend to get relationships with the officers because the officers is the one that's bringing, you know what I'm saying, gonna bring you what you want. You know what I'm saying? When I was an officer,
Right.
when I was in there, I said when I was an officer, damn, you knock on wood, hell no. But when I was in there, I had knocked off me an officer, and she'd have brought me anything in there. If I wanted a horse, if she could have got in there, she would have brought it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's a big thing going around with officer and inmate relationships, and people don't know when officer get caught messing with an inmate, that's an outside case for them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But no matter in life, no matter what happens, you can't stop people from liking who they liking. Although in prison, it's pretty much like a game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. See
So
me, that's why I know I could never really work in a prison for real because I would be too even before I did my time, I would be too lenient towards the inmate. You know what I mean? Unless they did some old weird shit, but like I would be too lenient towards the inmate, and then them COs be making money in there, like
yeah,
big bags. You know?
you got to realize right now, iPhone. I got a couple cats locked up now. I'm gonna have some guys on the show. I'm gonna have a guy on the show. He just came home from doing 32 years. I got another guy that's locked up. I just talked to him last night. He been locked up 31 years. Phones is going for $1,000 in there. So just imagine if a CO, you know what I'm saying, your people go take a CO a little flip phone like this, 50
Mm-hmm.
phone, and you making what's that, $900 something dollar profit.
Yeah.
So what's the
See where when I was when I was in there, well, where I was at, I'm not gonna say they didn't exist, but it wasn't as big of a thing. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have a lot of the thing that we could get was like maybe cigarettes. You know what I mean? Somebody might have a joint sometime. You know, but never did we really have like large quantities of nothing because I feel like on the women's unit, the COs really don't like you like that. You know what I mean? Like you get cool with a couple of them, but I ain't never meet one that was willing to risk their job to bring nothing.
right? I'm gonna take it as to when you're doing something like 3 years,
Yeah, you don't get to see the real
yeah,
ins and outs of some shit.
you can see daylight. So you ain't really trying to get tied up into the prison politics.
Hmm.
When you're doing time, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really gonna say like I was doing, but when you're doing a significant amount of time, you trying to make things happen any way you can. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I had my celly tell me, uh, Toy, this is how this is the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like I got a life sentence.
And
This
that's why
my
I'm going.
whole.
And that's
You
why I'm
know,
going.
like so you
How,
have to look at it like that's how you start to look at it. Like, yeah, when I got to that other unit, you start getting comfortable and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I'm maneuvering around. I'm I'm getting used to being here, but at the same time, I always roll with people. You know, did y'all call it riding when you sit there and reminisce about being free?
nah, we didn't call it riding. I don't know. I forgot what we called it, but we used to walk the track. You just walk the track and just kick it.
Yeah, we would like even if you was laying in your bunk, if you just be like, "Come on, ride with me," and you just be riding, talking about the free world. You know what I mean? I always rode with people that talked about going home. I didn't ride with people that would be like mentally stuck there or they had a long ass time. They didn't see no way other than jail. You
Right.
know?
It was institutionalized.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm gonna ask you. So doing 3 years, how did it make you feel when you ran across a life or somebody who was doing a lot of time?
Like I said, I was Miss House. My Sally, she had a life sentence. She ended up going to court and getting it like reduced or whatever, but she still had like 40 years and she was already like 40, almost 50 years old. You know what I mean? So she would, like when hearing her story and hearing that she did have a life sentence, it was kind of like, damn, man, it's they really locking bitches up like that. It was another lady that had already been on the unit 20 years. You know, it kind of hit you like, damn, you can really be here for the rest of your life. If you That's how I looked at everything. Like this can be your life if you don't get out and be on top of your shit. You know what I mean? Like I always felt like they didn't have a place for me. That's why I kept smoking weed on probation. I felt like, man, I'm Toya. Everybody love is Toya, baby. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. They can't lock me up for smoking weed. Shit. I found out they can. Well, it wasn't just for smoking weed, but at the end of the day, that's really what I went for. I could have been that shit could have been wiped off my record.
Right.
But I kept smoking weed.
So tell
And
the
then I
people.
feel like God was just, if you believe, but I just felt like God was just showing me that this can be your resting place. You know what I mean? It could have been it could have been my resting place. I was originally in a murder charge, you know what I mean? So it could have been where I was at. I just think God gave me a glimpse into, if you don't get your life together, this gonna be your life.
Right. You was blessed enough, like you said, to have outside support. So tell the people how it is for the people in there who don't have outside support.
Oh yeah, like I said, at one point, my ex-husband was my support, and I had my sister, well, not my real sister, but my sister and her mom, like people looking out for me on the mail situation. But it was at a time where my ex-husband had kind of just stopped writing and stopped putting money on my books. I had to wash clothes. People was dropping their laundry off in front of my bunk for me to wash clothes for them. That was my thing. I was washing clothes, or sometimes like I would see girls do stuff like get shit out the kitchen. Like if you a kitchen worker, you can get like seasonings and different meats and stuff like that you can't get on commissary. So I would see girls hustling food, hustling stamps, playing dominoes for stamps. We called them flying flags. It was different hustles that people would pick up on, braiding hair, anything, artwork.
Right. And in there, what it could become, it could become a cycle. Because for the people who don't know, when you in there, you got a prison job. You might work in the kitchen. You might be what they call a porter, where you clean up. They got different jobs in there, and you do get, we're gonna say, a welfare check every month. They call it state.
Nope, not in Texas.
I gotta get into Texas.
You work for free down there, where you work for good time and stuff like that, but they don't pay you.
Well, in Ohio, like I was saying, you'll get $18, $21 a month. So if you ain't got no money coming in, $18, $20 a month ain't nothing. That's nothing but hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
So what they got in there, they got people what they call store men, a guy who got a store. So you might go get a honey bun, and on store day you owe him two back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like another hustle in there. So it's really like a dog chasing his tail. Because if you ain't got no money coming in and you going to get stuff from the store man and you owe him double, when we got state pay, when your state pay came around, you was back broke again.
Right.
And that's one of the things I think people fail to realize, man. They think when they got family and friends, they gonna look out for when in there. When you go in there, man, we call it fall off. People fall off. They hop out your car.
Quick.
You know what I'm saying? You be by yourself, man. And
Quick.
and like you said, your husband has stopped sending you money and writing you. Tell the people how important them letters are in there.
Oh man, mail call come every day except Sunday. Well, Saturday and Sunday, right? Mail call come every day around like 6 in the evening. So that means you done went all day wondering if somebody gonna write your ass. You thinking like, what's gonna be in the mail today? You know. Then mail call come and it's like bunk. I'm bunk 21. They go 19, 20, 22. That's the most devastating feeling in the world when they skip over your bunk. Everybody running to the CO getting their mail and shit, and they skip over you. And it be like, all right, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna get some somebody gonna send me something tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow come, they do the same thing. 20, 22. You be like, damn, that shit be hurting.
So why
Mail
you
call
be?
is a motherfucker, man.
So when you was in there trying to make parole and stuff like that, was you taking any programs?
Oh yeah, I did parenting. See, that was the way that I didn't have to work. You know what I mean? So I did parenting. On the first unit I was on, you had to work and go to school. But then when I got to the other unit, they put me on that field squad where you had to go and work in the field like a slave. So I started applying for different school activities. So I did cognitive thinking, and it's like a recidivism course that you do. I took some Bible classes, you know what I mean? But I already had my high school diploma, so that counseled me out of school work, you know what I mean? So I just took different. Oh, I took typing, learn how to type, you know.
So what was the average day? What's your average day routine? What's the average day routine and what was in prison?
Shit, you wake up probably like 4 o'clock in the morning for breakfast shower. Then you go to chow, you come back, they do a head count. After the head count, then the day room open. And then you can go to the day room throughout the day, like people going to school, people going to work. I didn't have to go to work until like the later part of the day after dinner chow. So I'm chilling around in the break in the day room for the most part. Um, you just shooting the shit with different people. And then they call dinner chow. Then I would go to work until about 11 o'clock. And my first job, I was a SSI, that's a janitor.
Right.
So yeah, that was my first. But I had 3 jobs. I was a SSI. I worked in the field squad, and I worked in the kitchen.
And we already know being in prison, it's a very depressing place. You know what I'm saying? People be doing a lot of time in there. Was there any situations in there where a person took themselves out?
Yeah, like one day they had I can't remember if it's called KOD or POD, but they had gave everybody their meds. They were short. The nursing staff was short. And that was like the big unit that I was on. And they had gave everybody their meds. And the lady sat there and took all her meds and killed herself.
Mm.
Yep.
So this is the most time where a person can't sleep. So how was it? What was going through your mind like the night before you knew you was going home?
I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep. I kept thinking like, like you be ready for the day, like you be the whole time you getting it, the whole time you there, the whole time you doing your time, you thinking about the day when they finna tell you to pack it up. So that night, like I just couldn't sleep. I stayed up all night, just ready to get the hell up out of there, but at the same time, nervous for what was waiting on me when I got out there. I knew I was getting out to nothing for real. So yeah, I was up all night.
And people don't we really don't realize how quick change. So tell the people how much things had changed just the small time of 3 years of being gone.
Um my living situation changed dramatically. Like I was living in one city when I got locked up, and then my ex-husband had moved to another city, and then I'm coming home to my ex-husband. Now he's incarcerated. He just signed for 3 years. So I'm coming home to nothing. My kids are all displaced. Like um yeah, everything had changed.
Right.
Everything.
It's
Even the way my brother looked, the way my sister looked, like everybody looked different. Even the freeways, coming home and just seeing the freeways had changed. Looking and seeing like different buildings that was open that's now closed. Like just different. It was almost overwhelming coming home.
right. It what was different for me by being in there, you know what I'm saying, the dorm or whatever, by the place being so big. When I came home, being in the house, everything just seemed small.
Right. The when I came home, I think just the place that I felt comfortable mostly was the bathroom. Like I spent a lot of time in the bathroom. Just I think because it was small. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what, dang, it's like you answering all the questions I'm about to ask you. So, and that, I guess that's the commonality of doing time. Did you experience people telling you like, man, you institutionalized?
No, not really. Like the thing is like I would try to catch myself from doing different stuff, like I remember the second day I had got home and I just wanted something quick to eat, and I was like, I'm finna make me some noodles. I get the noodles Hankin and just start throwing them on the floor. But just out of pure habit, not even thinking about what I'm doing, just start smashing them on the floor. My oldest son come walking around the corner counter like, Mama, what are you doing? I was like, ah, shit. I'm not in prison anymore. I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? And then just the time frame, waking up and then, eating free world food and coming home. I mean, eating that state food and then coming home to free world food. That shit'll fuck your stomach up, man.
Right. And for the people who don't out there who don't understand what she's saying, when you got your pack of ramen noodles, people tend to throw them on the floor to break them up. But the reason I did at first, but I stopped throwing them out on the floor. I just started taking the pack and breaking them like that. Because I started thinking like, man, I'm throwing my soup package on this floor, and then I'm cooking and touching my food. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like really
Oh
OCD.
yeah.
I just start breaking them up in my hand. But that is a habit a person to find themselves doing when they do get out. If they eat a ramen, they're taking it and slam on the floor. You know what I'm saying? To break it up. So what's a message you got for young people, especially females that might be out here doing something that's leading them in the path to go to prison?
I had a CO that I used to talk to all the time. She was like real down to earth. And I think some of the conversations we would be having, we really weren't supposed to be having, but she was cool and I was cool too. But she told me, she was like, just 1 second, really 1 millisecond of not thinking can change your life. You know what I mean? So if you already know you on that path of, you know, shit is happening, I feel like when you have a thought, you need to think about that thought like 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? To make sure you making the right decision. Because once you get behind the bars, you're gonna be thinking of every possibility of how you could have not been in that situation. I feel like just think 3 times before you make a decision on anything that can lead you to some jail shit. And we all know what can lead you to some jail shit. You know what I mean? We
Right.
already know.
And I don't think people really realize, man, how going to prison, although a person can get out and change their life around, and we're gonna say one day even maybe become president, but being a convicted felon, man, affects you for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
what are some of the downfalls you have ran into being a convicted felon, like for like applying for jobs, voting, trying to get
I've
a
been
work
I've
permit?
been home since 2011. But when I first got home, that was like I'm just now able to get jobs that I wanted. You know what I mean? Or that I feel like I was qualified for. I'm just now able to do those things because once that jacket is on your back, my felony was the lowest felony you could get before, I mean, after state jail. And so just me coming home and saying, yeah, I'm a felon. I couldn't get no job. I couldn't get a place to stay. You know what I mean? Like it's like the whole community really be like your family be like celebrating you coming home, but then the real world be making it hard for you to get back on. You know what I mean? Legally, they make it hard for you. Like you got to do odd and end things just to make it happen. I worked at KFC for 3 years after I got home, making minimum wage. You know what I
Right.
mean? So yeah,
When I came home,
you have your own disadvantages.
when I came home from doing my 10 years, man, I put in a application, man, at every temp service in Dayton, Ohio. And due to my charge, I was locked up with. You was lucky enough to have the lowest felony. I had the highest felony, which in Ohio was a felony one. Uh,
Mm.
I could not get a job. I could not get a job, man, due to my
Yeah.
due to my crime.
But after I left KFC, that's what I was stuck with temp service jobs. You know, everybody was like, "Oh, you always keep a job." Yeah, because they, the temp service, as long as they fucking with you, they gonna keep you employed because they get paid off of you. But that's what I was restricted to for the longest. I couldn't, you know. Well, that's another reason why I left Texas. I left Texas 5 years ago. I'm in Ohio as well. So I left Texas to get like a fresh start. And one thing that I realized about living up here, they don't run for Texas. Like they don't, when they run in your name, they just run to see if you've been locked up in Ohio. You
Right.
know what I mean? So that's why Ohio, I always say, man, I hate living here. It's so boring. But it was a blessing. And it's a blessing to me because I'm able to I'm able to move around like with almost without that jacket. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say it's completely gone, but they not looking for Texas up here.
Right. Thanks for the cash app, Lakendra. Somebody got a question. They control is one of my dedicated supporters. They've been riding with me from day one. If you want to answer, they want to know how many kids and what ages were they when you went to prison.
Oh, I got 4 kids. My baby boy was 7 months. My daughter was about 3. Um, my second son was like 6, and then my oldest son was 7.
Hmm. So what's one of the best lessons you think you learned while being incarcerated?
Don't never think shit can't happen to you. And then once they put you behind them bars, man, ain't no telling what can happen. You know what I mean? I seen girls get slammed on their head by COs. I seen girls cut each other. I seen girls cut themselves. I seen a woman actually lose her mind. She was normal when we got there, and later she was walking down the, did y'all call it the street, the sidewalk, to
Yeah.
get to chow and stuff like that. I see the lady walking down the street drooling and stuff. You know what I mean? You can go in there one way and come out a whole different way. You can lose yourself in there if you're not mentally strong. So I feel like don't play with it, man. That's not. I don't feel like it's something to really. Y'all really think your freedom? You shouldn't take it for granted. With a
Right.
little freedom they give us, you know.
And for the people that's listening and it was here last week, you see I ain't playing because last week I just told them one of the things in there that happened, they'll put you on them psych meds in there and they'll mess you up. You know what I'm saying? People who go to prison, man, don't become the same. They come out and don't be the same person. So what you think has been one of your besides um being with your kids, of course, you know what I'm saying, raising your kids, what's one of the things that you feel like you've accomplished since being home?
Oh man, Hankin, when I got home, like I said, I was homeless. Uh, I ain't have my kids. I couldn't find no job and shit. You know, life was real fucked up when I first got home. But now I look at my life and I got a 4 bedroom house. With a basement. I'm a supervisor at my job. Uh, I got my oldest son graduated, went to college. My second son, he in school. My baby boy is a football superstar, and I have been a positive influence on them throughout the way. Like me going to prison didn't it was a statistic. They was like, if by you being in prison, your kids incarceration rate goes up like 25%. They used to show us the pamphlets, but my kids ain't never been in jail. You know what I mean? They ain't even on that path of being in the streets, hanging out, doing none of that shit, you know. So my biggest accomplishment is that I turned that shit into some real good shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That negative really turned my life around into a positive for real, you know?
Right, right. So I know you told us when you first came in, but for the people who wasn't here just coming in, tell the people about your YouTube channel.
Well, you know, I started YouTube because I had some things that was going on. Like, okay, I don't know if y'all know about the Mo3 troll beef sector or whatever, but it's a lot of stuff that goes on over there. And so instead of always hitting panels or waiting to hit a certain content creators panel to address what I wanted to address, I went ahead and hit my own live button. And that's what made me initially start going live. But then you get tired of the mess and drama and going back and forth, you know. And I always said if I wanted to speak publicly, then I wanted my kids to always be able to look back at it and say, my mama was on some real shit. You know what I mean? She wasn't on this app acting stupid, acting crazy. So when I'm gone, that's a footprint that I can leave that my kids can look at and be proud of. So what it is just I talk about different things that's going on in politics, celebrity news, my life, different news stories that just touch me different. You know what I mean? That's interesting to me, and I just talk about it. I'm able. I don't know. I can talk. So whatever I feel like is an interesting story, we gonna talk about it.
Right. And what days does your prison stories air?
I haven't really set out a date. You see, I did those two like back to back. If you notice, so what I want to do is start doing something like story time Saturday or Sunday. You know what I mean? And just sit down and tell my prison stories or whatever story about my life because my life is interesting, I think, you know. I've been through a little bit of everything. So I feel like prison I'm going to tell my prison stories, but I also want to tell like my real life stories as well, you know.
Right. So what do you do out? Do you do anything outside of that? Do you like got a business or a hobby or something you can do that you do that profits?
No, not really. You know, the YouTube is a hobby that I like to do. It's not even nothing that I'm like, oh, I got to get the bag off of here. It's just something that I like to do. I go to work, I take care of my kids. I'm just glad to have a job that I'm proud of. You know what I mean? So, and that is paying me what I'm worth. So, everything else, I ain't really thought about what I wanted to do as far as extra hobbies to make me money because I work all the damn time, Hankin.
Right. And being the lesson, we about to start wrapping up. Um, being the lessons that you learned, you know what I'm saying, although you had to go through a tough time, if you had to go back and do it all over again, you know what I'm saying, would you do it again?
I I would do it again. You know why? Because I feel like I'm stronger. I'm a more wiser person. I make more conscious decisions because of everything that I've been through. You know what I mean? Like if I hadn't been through those things, then I wouldn't be the amazing black woman that I am today, you know? So I wouldn't change nothing.
And it's ironic that you say that because although I did a lot of time, I say the same thing. I feel like if I hadn't been through the things that I've been through, I wouldn't be the person, you know what I'm saying, I am today. And one thing people don't think about is although we was in there, you know what I'm saying, and away from our families and going through certain things, that might have saved us for something worse.
Yeah, definitely. I was a wild kid, you know what I mean? I was a wild child. I made decisions without thinking all the time. You know what I mean? I always felt like my heart was gonna lead me in the right direction, not consciously thinking, just running with what felt good at the time. And so you life lessons will teach your ass that you need to sit down and think about some shit before you just start running with people and doing different things and getting away from what your grandmama taught you.
Right. So what has the response you've been getting from your prison stories?
That it was really good. A lot of people are surprised that I've ever even been to prison. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are just surprised. Like, dang, I ain't know that you really done been in jail. Like, I ain't know you don't even seem like that type of person. But what is that type of person? You know what I mean? Like, what is that type of person? You could be that type of person. It's a judge. You live in Ohio. It's a judge and his wife committed a hit and run out here, and they about to be released now, but just that minute of not thinking, they hit somebody and drove the hell off, scared. Changed
Right.
his life for forever. He a judge.
Yeah, we
So
didn't had
what
a
is
lot
that
of.
type of person? They always think that a convict or a felon is somebody that is uh rough, scarred up, tattoos, looking crazy, but anybody can get a state number for real.
Yeah,
All it take is a millisecond.
that's the same thing I had to tell some of the officers when I was in there. I get into it. We're like, man, you ain't nothing but a rock throw away from here yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's
And
definitely true, man.
like you were saying, people think just because you've been incarcerated, you know what I'm saying, you're a bad person or something. But we pretty much know from the things you've been telling us, you know what I'm saying. You might not could see the comments, but somebody was saying that your story is amazing. They is proud of you. Tell the people who Toya is. Tell the people who Toya really is as a person.
I feel like I'm a fun person. I like to have fun. I have a genuine heart. I genuinely have a heart for people. Sometimes I feel like that shit can get me in trouble. That's why I said I have to think more than going with what my heart tell me. You know, I'm an open minded individual. I think outside the box all the time. Um, I'm always trying to push myself. I'm very resilient. I'm always trying to push myself to do something different. Look at me. I'm from Texas. I live in Ohio. I'm like one of the first people in my family to actually move out of state and live there. You know what I mean? Like, I think I might be telling the story, but out of my cousins, I think I for real. Maybe
Right.
not, but but I'm actually living here. I'm actually doing this on my own. So yeah,
Although you say it's boring, do you think you are more successful being in Ohio than you would in Texas?
definitely, definitely. I think my kids came out because of where we live at. My kids are allowed to be kids. You know what I mean? They can walk around and be free to be unapologetically black and not have to worry about like police and it's racist people everywhere, but down south we was in a stop and frisk area, so if you fit the description, they can parole up on you, pat you down, slam you around. So I feel like even my kids are different. They got a different outcome in life just by me moving.
Right. And for people out there who don't know, Ohio is a very important part of the Underground Railroad. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it is.
When you be on the highway, I know you can always see the signs Dayton. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
Dayton. Well, I was born and raised in Dayton. I'm a little bit outside now in the suburbs, but where I'm at now is it's a church, but it was actual part of the tunnel for the Underground Railroad where I'm at. So
Oh,
it's
really?
a church up here where I'm at, and that's where they was coming out at in the church through the tunnel. So it's
Oh,
very
that's what's up. I
historical.
I heard they had like a whole museum up here, but I haven't went since I've been here. I went to the Smithsonian in DC, but I haven't visited the Underground Railroad Museum
That's
here.
Cincinnati. That'll be in Cincinnati. That's one of the. That's another one of the major cities in Ohio. It's Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus.
I live right outside of Columbus.
Them like the major cities. So tell the people the name of your channel where they can catch your prison stories at.
It's Toya Baby. If you want to, you can follow me on Instagram. Under it's underscore Toya Baby. Um, yeah. I go live, but my lives are random. I do set them up that the day to let you know, like, hey, I'm going live. But yeah, pop in and tell a friend to tell a friend when I'm going live again.
All right, I appreciate you for coming through. Like I said, I'm gonna keep supporting you. I wish you much success. You got
You
an
too,
amazing
Hankin. Thank
story,
you for inviting me.
and keep telling your stories. And that's a part of me coming to YouTube. I came to network. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right,
was just saying it'd be some stuff going on, but I'm in the comments networking. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know, I've seen you. I heard your story, and I heard you mention a few things. I'm like, dang, that'd be a good guest to have on my show. So, man, it's all about working together. You know what I'm saying? And I just
Well,
want to,
thank you for having me, Hankin.
we had a conversation. Don't pay attention to the trolls, man. Do your thing. It's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? We on here chasing a bag, not friends.
Yes, sir.
And for all the moderators, drop your links. If I got a moderator, can you please drop Toya's link for me? If not, it's in the description of this video. So make sure y'all slide through and check her out. I know if you want to share your Instagram, I got your YouTube in the description, but I'll go back and also put your Instagram in there for you.
Okay.
All right, thanks for coming through.
Well, thanks for having me, Hankin. And anytime you want me to pull up, I definitely will.
Oh, don't worry,
Um,
we're gonna do it again.
all right.
All
Well,
right,
thank
thanks.
you. Have a good day.
You know, that was it's Toya. She had, like I said, she had a nice story about being incarcerated. Not a nice, but you know what I'm saying, a message to get through. Hit me up. Y'all see the comment. Kendrick got her book, man. Y'all better hit me. Had to start bringing it, showing y'all. Better hit me up. I don't know if y'all can see it. Get y'all a copy of it. Y'all can't see it. Hit me up. Get y'all a copy of Hankin in Love with the Game. It's cold. It's getting cold outside. Go ahead. Get your Hankin. I got Hankin definition t-shirts, long sleeves. For the people tuning in, don't know what Hankin mean. Hankin ain't nothing but another word for hustling. I just took it and put my own definition to it. When you can supply the demand and consistently turn a profit. So if you out there selling dinners, doing hair, Ubering, whatever, you Hankin. As long as you supply the demand and consistently turn a profit. This was Tales from the Cell. This is another series I'm running. Like I said, it's prison stories. It was designed. I had made it for me to tell my prison stories. I did 15 years in the joint, and I went through some things in there. Like I said, I had knocked off an officer in there, and if I wanted a horse, if she could get it to me, she would have brought it to me. So I definitely got some good and bad stories about my time. I want to share with the people and hopefully deter our young people and some of our adults, man, from going there, because it's a multi-million-dollar business. And also, I got the show Hankin TV, so make sure y'all tuning in that. I got a dope guest coming on tomorrow, representing North Dallas, Texas. I got OG Big Lat coming through. He got music on what's the name? He got music on TV shows. He got music on movies. He gonna be coming in, tapping in with us about North Dallas, and telling us some stuff about the music game. All American. He got music on the TV series All American, and he also got music on the movie with Queen Latifah and Steve Martin called Money. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man. Hit like on this video. When we first started, we had a little technical difficulty, but I don't know what happened, man. I got a brand new Mac computer, and for some reason it had froze up on me. That had never happened, you know. But that was the enemy trying not to get this message out. But as you see, we got back rolling, man. I want to thank last week I didn't see it. I got my second device here. I want to thank Miss Tay for becoming a member. Yeah, man, go ahead and join the membership, man, because I'm telling y'all, I ain't just talking like people be talking about to have some exclusive offers for my members, man. Like I say, I'm here to network. I got a lot of connections, and I'm making a lot of connections. So my members going to definitely be getting some perks, especially if you're an artist, you're a business owner, if you got a brand, if you're a member, y'all getting first dibs on everything. I'm telling y'all, I'm tapped in. I don't want to give too much because then that'd be the only reason people try to come around. But go ahead and become a member. It ain't even about the money. It's about showing loyalty, man. Building a team. You know what I'm saying? Just like I got in my name, JT, a hustler for life. Everybody should be a hustler for life. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got some great things going. Like I said, hit me up. Get your Hankin merch. I got the long sleeves. It's getting cold out. I got the Hankin coffee mugs. Hit me up for a copy of the book. We promoting over here too. If you got anything you trying to get promoted, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Right? Don't wait until it get to cooking and get me crying when I be talking about what I want. It's free right now. So if you got anything you trying to get promoted, hit me up, man. I thank everybody for tuning in. If you got a wrench, you got a channel, drop your link. Or if you know somebody got a channel, drop their link. I want to shout out Love Child, the producer. When I played the Hankin intro song, the Hankin TV intro song, that's the producer of the beat right there. I want to give her a shout out. If you need beats, hit her up. I'm still working on getting my official intro together. When I do, I'm gonna make sure I put it in the description. So all you can do is just hit it and it take y'all straight to her. But like I said, man, hit the like button, man. I'm out.